Hello, guys, and welcome to the fourth season of Seve Talk, my monthly podcast. I am Séverine Tamborero, professional tennis coach, author, and a creative thinker. This year will be about having a conversation with all of you, some very special guests, and nothing will be off limits. Join the conversation every month at CoachSeve.com, iTunes, Spotify, and on my YouTube channel. So let's talk. Hi, everyone. Listen, this is a big one. Welcome to Seve Talk. Oh, yes. I'm so honored and pleased to have Ruben Neyens with us today. Ruben, thank you for being here. I'm going to say good morning for you, but it's good afternoon for you. You're in Belgium right now?
Good afternoon, 4 o'clock it is now. So
there you go. And listen, everyone, I've met Ruben we presented both of us in the Coach to Coaches conference a few weeks ago in Europe. It was amazing. And I can tell you from what I've been seeing on court, the conversation I had with him, values are pretty much, I would say, the core of everything. And I'm very happy to have Ruben on. Ruben, thank you for being with us, and present yourself. What do you do, and a bit of your background.
Okay, thank you first of all for the invitation. Always happy to share with some other coaches. So the ones who already know me, sharing is caring, of course. Who am I? I'm now 36 years old. I'm from Belgium, living in the city of Hombeek, very close to Mechelen. Been in sports all my life. My family is really a sport family, but also not only tennis, all other sports, football, cycling, volleyball, handball, gymnastics. Everyone is doing something else in the family. So really a sports family. And to be honest, why I'm in this world, the why for me, I'm in the business of let's say sport. I really love sport. Also for myself, I do a lot of sport on myself, but I love to work in this culture of sport. And the second one, I'm very looking forward to help or inspire people. Can be players, but now in this role I'm doing nowadays, it's more inspiring other coaches, like we did together in coaches. So this is the main thing for me. Like, okay, working in sports. For now, it's tennis. Maybe one day it's maybe another sport, and helping other persons and also inspiring other persons. So that's why I'm in this job.
And I can confirm that you are also very active for yourself. You're pretty much the only one that woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go have a run in the cities that we were in. So I can confirm that you're also active for yourself. Listen, you've been talking of a family being involved in all sports. And it's great, because what I realize in time, and I think you do too, is that whatever we do, the aspect of sharing, that's why we're doing what we're doing, but it's going abroad every sport. It's not always just specific to one sport. Knowing that you've been involved in tennis right now, why tennis? Why that sport specifically, knowing that you have so much knowledge around other sports than tennis?
Oh, to be honest, when I was younger, I was, I think, 9 years old. Nowadays, it's late when you start at 9 years old to play tennis. I don't know why I actually start playing tennis. Sorry to judge me, it's too long ago. I don't know why I made the first step, but for sure, my parents gave me a lot of flavor. So I did a lot of sports. By accident, maybe I was stuck on tennis, but I combined it also with other sports. I was not only playing tennis, but one day I was like, oh, this is my thing. Maybe it was because I was a little bit more successful as a teenager in this one. Also, I was maybe lucky to have a good coach who I had good interaction with, and also other teammates in the world of tennis. It's not one specific thing when I look back at it. So by accident, I started, and I think for different reasons, coach, other teammates, being successful. I was not like the number one, but I had a good time. Let's put success as a good time. Um, and I was really stuck into tennis. To becoming a coach, that's another story. That was really by accident. I was totally not interested in being a coach when I was 16, 17 years old. Oh my God, no. Was no like, oh, I want to be a coach or I want to be in coach development. Not at all. Just wanted to be a player. I broke my hip when I was 17, and by accident, that was really an accident. But when I was recovering, was a long recovery. Actually, my coach pushed me a little bit. Oh, please help me on court to stay on court, just feed some balls with the younger players. So I came by accident in the role as a coach, and I
And
never left
what
it.
attracted you? When you were, because it's funny you're giving that example, because for me it was exactly the same thing. I was 16 years old, and my coach was saying, Seve, can you please help with one of the coaches? And when I put my feet on court, I was like, this is what I want to do. So what attracted you when you had that experience?
When I look back, it was to help other kids because they were younger ones. And like they were like looking up to you, like, oh, can you help me? Oh, it's a good player. He can feed some balls and we want to play like you. And you were giving tips. So it was really, I had a good time. And I was not aware that I was helping other players, maybe, but because I was a teenager. But it felt really good. And also, you get something in return, good feeling, but also earning a little bit of simple money because I earned some money, was like nothing, was like €5 an hour or something you got for helping, like you were like a live ball machine. But it was something as a teenager. It was like amazing. Wow, I got €50 this week. I'm rich. I'm rich. So were different items. But I was very happy, and more I was attracted to it, and I went deeper, discussed with my coach, and also my mentor, my coach. He really pushed me also a little bit, like, oh, he's good in this. So can you do a little bit more for the kids tennis program? And the ball was like a ball, like snow. In the beginning,
Yeah.
it's small, and then it goes faster and gets bigger. And now I'm here, still stuck. Now I'm working in the Netherlands, so it's
That,
going over faster
and
and
that's
bigger.
great. We're all lucky that you came to that conclusion at the end, because you're like you say, you love to share. That's a bit what we have in common, but at the same time, the way you do it is really coming from your heart, and it shows. And from the coaching aspect, you became involved into physical development. And through that process of physical development, like you mentioned, you're now in the Netherlands being involved with the coaching aspect and the education aspect. So can you talk a little bit the transition from coaching to that aspect of physical development?
Yeah, physical development was also in that injury. I had to recover, had to do a lot of running, cycling, physical activities. And I was really like, oh, I loved it. Really loved it, that world. And I really came back much stronger, fitter and stronger. And that was also the reason I wanted to share with other players. Maybe this can help tennis players, like the fundament, physical fundament,
Yeah.
being fit, being healthy, like also injury prevention. Maybe I don't want to get the same injury because I was only playing tennis, to be honest, when I was a teenager. So I was a little bit in my mindset, okay, maybe I have to put it in a program. To be honest, first time when I started 16, 17 years ago, I really had to look on the rock, on the rocks or whatever, like who wants to do physical training? Everyone was like, oh, physical training. It's like military style, running a little bit, doing stupid exercises. And it was totally right. In those days, it was like running, fitness, like boring activities. Um, and I wanted to change that a little bit, that it can also be nice to do and easy to do to start, to be a little bit more attractive. So in a long story short, that was actually the beginning, like horrible physical training. Looks like military, some people running around in the woods doing stupid exercise, boring, to like now it's more a playground. In Belgium now, in the Netherlands, more common sense. It's nice to do. It's more activities than drills. Maybe that's the best summary. And you saw some activities.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that's also what I wanted to ask you, because we're in this moment where physical development takes more and more space. We know that it's taking more space because kids are less active. And that's something that I realize when I speak around the world like you, is that we have common challenges. And what would you say that you're trying to achieve either in your courses back in Netherlands when you educate coaches, or when you talk to a group of kids or a group of parents? What is it that is very, very important today from all the experience and what you saw that needed to change, that we have to focus on in regards of physical development for those kids?
For coaches, I would say I will always use the 4F method a little bit. I use the 4F method. Yeah, we're still in the world of sports, so it should be fit. You have to move. And tennis, also, for me, also physical training can be tennis. When you're young, that's also coordination training. For young kids, that's also physical activity. But they have to move. Don't keep them standing still. That's also tennis, like a little bit passive. So fit is number one. You're still in that world. Come on, keep them moving, keep them busy. Kids love to move. So, well, why not doing this? Number two, it should be fun. And fun can be a lot. But it's also working on their level. We're very good in the world of coaching to make it hard for the kids, to give activities they cannot do, like, oh my God, and give feedback like, this is wrong, you have to do it better. So is this always fun? But also for coach, please organize your session that you have some good time, that it's nice to do as a coach. Yeah. So number two, F, fun. Then the third one is focus. Please let them focus on something, how to do it better, improvement, but also focusing on their own development, because then they get responsibility. That's important, I think. Even when they're 8 years old, it's possible. So focus. And number four, what's the goal? What's the goal of the activity? The functionality. Why are you doing this? Because we're tennis players. So while running with a hoop, you throw a hoop, like you saw me doing. Yeah. What's the function of it? Because otherwise it's a little bit stupid. What's the reason? So fit, fun, focus, functional. And when you have those in a training session, I think the players will be happy, and also you as a coach are doing a good job.
Yeah, no, I'm happy, and it's so easy to follow and understand, and I think it's the base of everything that we do, even as parents. You know, when they have their kids and they're playing with them outside, to kind of have that structure can help having a better relationship with their kids, but to do things in the right way. You mentioned the aspect of functionality and understanding there's a reason behind we do what we do. I'm very happy to hear you say this, because I do believe that it's important to do things with a purpose, with intention, that it makes sense. And I realized that most of the time, either coaches or when you see training activities, that we see more about the activities, the structure, but there's no purpose behind it. So how do you manage to really make sure that that aspect of, you do an exercise, it's one thing, but you develop something in regards of that exercise? Because I see too much of, oh, I've seen this, you know, I've seen Ruben doing the hoop with the ball. It was amazing. I'm going to do it. But the aspect of why they're doing it and the purpose behind is not there.
That's, of course, a long journey for a coach to build their own system or personality or method, whatever you give that name. Of course, I have my method, whatever it is. There can be so many methods. And I'm always saying to coaches, you need this. There is no perfect method, but you need your own method, but also your own, to understand your why. Why are you doing this activity? Why is it useful for your players? Why is it useful to support your sports? Is it good on this moment or not? And when you have that method and also that mindset of the why, but that's always the difference between a good coach and a golden coach, not a bad coach, but a good one and a gold one. That's also why I'm not afraid to share my drills online. You can see so many activities on Instagram for me, and I'm not afraid to share. Why? It's very simple. I know why I'm doing this. Coaches are not to know why. So I'm always one step ahead because it's useful for my players. There is a reason why I invented that drill. I'm using this drill for this group of players or a player. So brainless copying can be good, but it's a quick fix. It's like an aspirin.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you have like a headache, take an aspirin and good. But if you don't stop drinking every evening a lot of beers, you will. So the long journey, you have to change something else instead of taking that aspirin every evening. Sorry for this.
No, but listen, it totally makes sense, and you're right. It's a long process. It's something that we have a conversation all the time with coaches, also with parents. Like, it's not about the quick fix at 8 and 9 years old. Is what you built in the beginning of this early years will built in the older years, 15 and plus, for those kids. What is your take? I did a reference. I did a conference recently to parents, and they were asking me, Seve, we've been hearing so much about multi-sport, not focusing on one sport, making sure that there's diversity, that there's variability also in their physical development. And now they all ask, what is the second sport I should do outside of football or outside of soccer? And my answer to them is, now it's go play outside. What is your take on now the aspect that we need to sell more and more and more of free play? How do you explain free play to parents and coaches?
Okay. First of all, free play in our own sports, it's a challenge again. I was doing, oh my God, so many hours of free play of tennis. Of course, it's still one sport, but now it's more challenging. And I think it will never come back the same. So we have to organize it in the club as a coach, that moment there is the possibility to do some free play or semi-free play. You give some tasks or competition challenges, and you have to do it with on a couple of courts. So really free play on the tennis club, I don't think it will come back. So it should be semi-free play. Of course, moving more outside. It's always the question: is it possible in your region where I'm living? Oh, there's so many space to play outside for the young kids. There are not many cars. Maybe when you're really a city person or family, of course, more challenging to play really outside. I was also playing always in the forest. I'm from the forest region in Belgium, so I had that luck. Other one that's a personal item that I'm saying to players and definitely for parents. I'm always pushing. Of course, I cannot that it has to be, but I'm always pushing that they do also another sports. They do tennis, but please do also something else. It keeps the mindset on tennis fresh. The long journey, you will not get bored by only playing tennis. You do something else, and it's healthy, I think. And do something what you like. Doesn't have to be connected to the world of tennis for me. And the other one that I'm saying also to parents, please do one tennis free day and one sports free day, like also relax. But keep them moving, because also we have the other side who do play too much of one sport. Oh my God, when you train 2 times a week tennis, you will not get a tennis body like in a specific shape. But when you train a lot, let's say performance players, I see too much doing the same. And then they have to do also a free day of sports and a free day of tennis. And now the last one that I want to add, when I was working with performance kids, because in Belgium, I was really working a lot with under 14 performance kids. The rule was really a rule. If you want to upgrade 1 hour of tennis training, you also have to upgrade half an hour of physical activity. That was the rule. Like, oh, because parents are throwing with hours. Oh, my kid is training 12 hours. My kid is training 14 hours. I was saying, okay, we're training now, for example, 8 hours. For example, 5 hours of tennis, 3 hours of physical activity. You want to upgrade 1 hour of tennis, but then we also have to add half an hour of physical activity. For me, when I was working with kids, was also always 1 hour of tennis is one half an hour of physical activity. So
that's great.
And it worked well. When it's clear from the beginning, no problem.
Yeah, no, I like that. And that's giving, again, a good sense of structure. And I like the aspect. And like you say, it's about, doing something different that, and I remember I'm also coming from tennis. And when I trained, when I was younger, I played with friends for hours and hours on a tennis court. And I think what parents need to understand, and coaches, it's not about just the hours on court, it's how it's done, right? It's let your kid play in the backyard, play with their friends. That's the half hour of physical development that will help, and not having a structure environment. I think that's what we need to do better. You're so right. We need to, yes, have a structure, but outside of the structure, to be able to say, listen, go play with your friends. And that's part of that physical development and diversity. No, I think it's a great tools for parents and coaches. And you were talking about the more performance aspect of sport. From your perspective, you said it a little bit, but just to put in context for any sports, when you're 12 and under, let's say, versus 30 plus, what would be the average time per week on that physical development, that it's either with someone or outside, that you would recommend?
Yeah, for example, you're 15 years old. I think I make it simple for myself. I always start with the years, like 15 years. So I will do maximum 15 hours of total training volume, just to make it simple. Of course, sometimes you go a little bit higher, a bit lower, but throughout the year, average-wise, the age group, just to simple for myself. I'm not saying you can't do more or less. It's also about efficiency. So when I have a player of 15 years old, they will do like 5 hours of physical training, meaning you're 15 years old doing 15 hours of training, let's say 10 hours of tennis. So 50% of that amount should be physical. That's 5. It's like simple math, and it gives me it's a no-brainer. You understand? And also parents can make their own math. Ruben says the age is a maximum volume, and also we know the ratio is 2-to-1 of tennis and physical. So I'm 18 years old, meaning I have to do maximum 12 hours of tennis and 6 hours of physical training. 18. So I'm a fan that they can do their own math.
For sure. But you're right. And you said it from the beginning, right? We can discuss about generally some recommendation and go with experiences. But at the end of the day, it's all about trying to individualize everyone, because kids are traveling more and more, because kids, even like you mentioned, trying to access another sport is not easy. You're trying to manage in your own family. So
I want to add something is, I hear a lot of amount of hours, but I think as a coach, definitely, and also as a parent, we have to be aware of the intensity or quality. Sorry, when I'm doing 10 hours a week on Zwift, that's digital cycling, I can kill myself in 10 hours. But I also can like do basic endurance rides, slow pedal, soft pedal. That's easy to do 10 hours. So 10 hours can be like 10 hours of interval training. Oh my God, I will die. It's easy to kill a player or an athlete. So it's also about what are you doing in those hours? And you're maybe in the world of tennis, we're doing a lot of high intensity compared to other sports. I'm also a lot of in endurance. I only do 10% like high intensity. I cannot do this for 10 hours. But sometimes it dance every day, like, oh, come on, faster, go hit harder, heavy. So intensity please don't forget the intensity as a coach.
Yeah, that's a great point. Intensity and, like you said, the quality, always quality over quantity.
Yeah. I gave always the tennis coach when I was working as a physical coach, also with tennis coaches. I always give we made the program together, and I worked with colors for the tennis coach, that it was for the tennis coach, clear, green, orange, or red, how intense the tennis coach had to work. For example, green, oh, not too physically high activity. Maybe you can focus on serve technique. It's mentally heavy, but physically, not that many steps. Oh, I want the red training, they have to move a lot of steps. So that was very clear for the coach because they were always in dark orange.
Yeah.
Like intense, but not super intense. And that gave a good direction for the tennis coach. It was very clear. And most of the time I did like counting the step on a watch for the players. So I gave the advice, green is around so many steps an hour, red is amount so many steps, so they have to move. Well, as a good tennis coach and performance were very happy with this clear system. Oh, this color around so many steps, and you can check it.
Yeah, no, listen, that's a great advice. And I think it's even good as a parent, when you say to your kid, go play outside or go play in our case, when it's really cold and they go play hockey on a hockey rink, and they go play with their kid, they're going to be having that intensity, but it's not going to be about the technique or about everything that is around. So that's a great way of doing this. Listen, it's great tips you're giving all of us and all of people listening. If you had one advice for parents, one advice for coaches into the new year coming up, and people will be away, they will come back to training around January. What would be the advice you would give in parents and coaches right now?
When they have to work together, one word: be proactive. Don't wait when it's too long. Like, oh, I'm not happy. Yeah, but try to be proactive. Maybe like discuss in front. A lot of coaches like me are sometimes, I was also waiting a lot. Now I'm very clear from the beginning, proactive, to be aware, like, oh, you're working like this is the system, I will do this. But also maybe parents, be proactive. Don't wait until it's too late. Like, be open. And I don't mean by be proactive you have to be negative. No, also be positive. Like, oh, I'm happy, or maybe, yeah, he's not feeling that good, I have the feeling this, what do you think about? But discuss, like, proactive. Don't wait when it's too late. And this is, I think, common sense, the opposite in our world. I don't think only in tennis, but we wait to the other one. Waiting to the other one is changing. That will not happen.
Yeah. So what you're saying is really make sure that whatever they do with a purpose, that they're going outside their comfort zone, and they're structuring what they're doing, right?
Yeah, and be proactive by a lot of questioning, just observation. I'm a fan of observation. Hey, I see you're are you happy? Asking questions, just observation, not judging. Like, oh, I'm not happy with how you react now.
Or
hey, I saw you were a
comparing,
little bit confused. Why are you confused? Were you confused? Instead of, oh, I hate it when you do, like, you're confused. Then you're judging. So be proactive and try to make a clear observation and ask questions.
Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah, no, listen, so many good things. The 4F, the light system, being proactive, doing things with intention. You're giving
more than enough.
You're giving us so much. We're going to have to do this again. But Ruben, before we leave, because I know you're a very busy man, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a chance to see you in Canada pretty soon. I know you're continuing your work with the Netherlands and traveling also as a speaker. You're doing so much speaking in the next few months. I always ask that to the people that come on Seve Talk. And I know I didn't give you a chance to reflect on this one, but for me, and I think for most of us, coaches and players, we travel a lot and music is so important. And I want to know, what would be a song that will either, that I knew I was going to that, but a song that either represents you or that you listen in the moment, and why is that song so important? Because I know for me, even when I'm on a plane, sometimes I listen to a song and I start crying, and I'm like, and people are looking at me just because it brings me back to different situations. What would it be for you?
Daft Punk.
Oh.
What is it? Faster, harder, stronger, better?
Okay.
I don't know the title, but everyone knows that song. Harder, faster, stronger. That's for me, because I believe I will never be the best coach, but I want to be every day a little bit better. And that reminds me to from that song. And it gives me a good vibe when I'm doing cycling on Swift or running. It's a Daft Punk has good for me, running or activity music. But I like that song mindset wise, every day a little bit better. I will never be the best coach. I don't want to be the best coach. It's not possible. But I want to be every day a little bit better or faster.
Oh, that's
so
great.
You have my song now.
So that's it. So now I know your secret.
Yeah.
That's the song I'm gonna put in my phone, because I'm always trying
when I'm
to
calling. When I'm calling, put that song on as a ringtone.
Exactly. Good. I'm going to do that. Ruben, I know, like you said, you like to share. It's a value that we have in common. People can follow you on Instagram, on everywhere. Where do they follow you if they want to even get in touch with you?
I'm the most active on Instagram, because then you can see my daily habits. Instagram, but also a lot of physical activities, because I put on Instagram, that's my physical activity page. Another one can be Facebook, but a little bit more challenging because I'm at the maximum of friends. So sorry for that one. I think those two are very good to get in contact or just follow it or to get some inspiration. And then when you Google my name and maybe click on videos, oh my God, you will see so many videos on tennis or so. Google is also a good one. And then click on videos, and you will see a lot of activities.
That's great. Listen, Ruben, always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and everything with parents and coaches and the Seve Talk listener. And I really hope I'm going to see you very soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ruben. I hope you enjoyed this month's podcast. Go to coachseve.com in the media section and share your experience, questions, and comments. Thank you guys for listening and being part of the Seve Talk community. Until next time, Seve's out.